Total Extreme Wrestling, WWE 2011. Today is the draft. We'll be drafting brand new rosters to ECW, Raw, and Smackdown. Who's safe? I don't know. I don't think anybody's safe. We could have a huge switch up today as we look to balance out the rosters and we look to balance out our shows. Welcome everybody to this episode of Total Extreme Wrestling. Fantastic to have you all come along for another big episode. And I'm looking forward to this one because this should be an interesting one with obviously 3 brands to draft. Things are going to get very different, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in today's show. Okay, so let's go ahead and recap our last show, Wrestlemania. And it was everything we wanted it to be. 100 rated show. We'll start from the bottom to the top. Might have been the best show we've booked to date here in this series. 57,000 attendance, 3.64, a buy rate over 1 million plus buys. MVP won a 25-man battle royal to start things off in the pre-show. We had the authority figures discussing the upcoming draft. Katie Lee beat Kelly, Michelle McCool, and Victoria and Melina in a bit of a 5-way among the women. Dolph Ziggler beat Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, The Miz, Sheamus, and Batista in a 6-way ladder match for the US title. 97 rated, couldn't believe that. That started things off. Viking Atlas, thank you so much for the bits, man. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you along again. Yeah, so that was a really crazy opener. Like, not for 1 second did I expect that to happen, but I was really pretty damn happy that it did. So it should be interesting. Homicide and Mankind, we had a hype video for that, and the match itself was this barbed wire steel cage match. And gotta say, I thought it did pretty well. I was pretty happy with the way that it went, but it only achieved a 78. I think Mick Foley kind of dragged it down a little bit, which was a bit of a shame. But you know, it is what it is. Those things, you know, tend to happen when you got a guy who's 1 foot out the door, competing in a big WrestleMania match. So it is what it is. We had Natalya hype up a match against Beth. Natalya beat Beth Phoenix for the Divas title, 82 rated. Cena beat Mark Henry and Kane in a triple threat match, 84. Joe beat Cody Rhodes for the IC title, 86. Masterlock challenge with Hulk Hogan, but The Rock came out to save Hogan. And a big moment there. Edge and Christian defeated Mysterio in a 2 out of 3 falls match, 94 rated. Karma defeated Trish for the women's title, which I thought was our best women's match to date, 92. The Undertaker defeated Sting, 95. Couldn't believe that. That was unbelievable how good that match was. Mr. Kennedy defeated Kofi Kingston for the ECW title, 93. Might have been our best ECW match as well. And the match that really surprised me was Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in a 3 stages of hell match for the world title, the WWE title. Triple H defeated Shawn, 100 rated. Couldn't believe it. It hit 100, but Shawn Michaels is 5-star Shawn, and once again proved it on that occasion. We also had CM Punk, who defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin, 96. Stone Cold was very good, around the 80 mark, so very good from Stone Cold. And the main event was Randy Orton, who beat John Morrison and Brock Lesnar for the world title in triple threat. We wanted Morrison to win, but Lesnar refused to lose to Morrison. His creative control blocked the deal, and the only way we were going to have this match be any good is if we had Randy Orton win, and that's exactly what happened, unfortunately. But Morrison had a good run, Survivor Series to WrestleMania, and now Morrison can start chasing the championship back. But that was WrestleMania. And I was pretty pleased overall with all the results. I think it was a pretty good show. Can't really complain too much, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Certainly today with the draft, you're wondering those storylines on your screens because we've got to scrap all of them. I think all of them are just about done, and we're going to start fresh. Maybe Shawn Michaels and Triple H as a rematch. I think that could probably warrant a rematch. Maybe a rematch here as well. But I think majority of these matches are just about finished up, and we'll start in a new direction. But it depends on who we're going to draft and who's going to go where. So I haven't actually gone ahead and taken a look at who I wanted to draft where. I wanted to have that all sorted before I went on stream today, but I just didn't do it. I kind of played Fortnite instead of sorting that out. But you guys can help me sort it out on stream, which I think is going to be fun. So we've got a chance now to kind of organize it all, decide who's going to go where, who's the best fit for each show, and do that. So I say a majority of today's show will be really centered around the whole draft, more so than booking shows. We probably will do a week or two of shows, but I think a big portion of today's stream will be about the draft. So let's get into it. Are you going to call up anyone before the draft? We'll get to that, but I think we might do some call-ups. Obviously, if you guys want to get called up, Ryback, Darren Young, Wade Barrett. So I think some of those guys, we probably will give them the call, but we'll have to decide when we do go ahead and do that. Where's Morrison's rematch? We haven't booked a show, man, so we don't know what's going on. Okay. So let's get into it. The draft. So what we're going to do is I'm going to load up an Excel, and I'll put this over here. I'll load up an Excel, and we'll keep track. So what I'll call is go one for Raw, one for Smackdown, and one for ECW. And what we'll do is that we'll come up with some ideas, and we'll go from there. So I'll have that over my own separate page. Might show you guys later what we've got going on there. So I'll load that up, and that's how we're going to do things today. So what I might do is take a look at Raw, first of all. And we'll start with the main eventers, and we'll look at perhaps who should probably change brand. I think right away Batista might be one guy that could use a brand switch. But I feel like Batista's one of those guys that could stay put and maybe benefit from the new guys coming in and feud with them. So we'll leave that, but 81 Pop's really disappointing. I'd like for Batista to be 90 plus. I'm really disappointed Batista's not there. And to get the best out of Batista, he needs high popularity because of his poor ring skills. So that's something that we might have to really try and work on with him. Jericho's had a pretty disappointing run here on Raw. Hasn't quite done a lot. CM Punk's basically beaten everyone there is to beat, so he could probably utilize a change. John Cena as well. Shawn Michaels, he's no longer champion, so scrap that picture there, forget about that. He's no longer the champ, and he's probably going to be more semi-retired now, so I'm sure he wants to remain as a main eventer, but we'll have to change him so he's more of a semi-retired type of character now. Sheamus hasn't really had a chance to shine. The Miz, I think he could probably utilize a brand switch, and Triple H, I think a lot of us probably want to see the world title switch brands, and I'm pretty interested in doing that as well. So I think what we might do straight away is do Triple H. So Triple H going to SmackDown and Randy Orton going to Raw. I think that might be straight away what we'll do. We'll lock that in, the two world titles changing brands, which I think will be pretty crazy, but certainly interesting anyways. Now, should I switch people as we go? No, we'll leave it as is, and we'll get to it. The Miz, I think The Miz on SmackDown might be good. We have to remember ECW. We have to decide, guys, do we, with ECW, do we say, okay, let's go all out and let's basically let some of the top names head over there? For example, a Miz, or a Chris Jericho. Do we let some of those top tier names head over there, or do we continue to utilize some of the guys that might not get that opportunity and push them on that brand? Or do we have one or two big names go over there? I think to keep ECW strong, we probably do need one or two names to head over there. And with Mark Henry and MVP really strong over there, Kofi Kingston, if we're going to lose them, I think we might need to give them a couple of names. So at least switch them up a little bit. So we'll see. But I'll maybe lock The Miz in. I don't know which brand The Miz will go to yet. So I'll just write The Miz's name down. So The Miz. So I'll put his name down. Shawn Michaels. Keep him on Raw. Triple H is heading over, so that's how we'll split those two. We don't want them on the same brand to get any more. Switch them over. Kane to ECW. Kane already had an ECW run. The only brand Kane can really go to would be Raw. Batista, we'll leave him there for now. He had a run on SmackDown, so Batista, if you wanted to have him go to a different brand, you might be thinking ECW. I'll go down to the upper mid-carders and we'll get back to it. So we've got Booker T. I'll keep the machine guns on Raw. They haven't really had much of a time here. They're still really new. Booker T. I might lock Booker T in for a switch. I think he could go to SmackDown. Yeah, I'll send Booker T to SmackDown. And he's another guy that probably is just about ready to call it a day. Getting pretty old now, so would have to consider maybe moving him on soon. Chris Masters. I don't think he needs a switch. I mean, I think he's doing okay. Depends where you want to have Legacy go, because I think Legacy are that next top heel coming through, and Chris Masters, on the same brand as Legacy, probably wouldn't be smart. Dolph Ziggler's the US champ, so unless we're going to switch the IC and the US over, that won't happen. I don't think we will. I think we might keep them where they're at. Why is Victoria an upper mid-carder? Well, we had to kind of mess around with Victoria a little bit to get her signed to a deal. We had to sign her to an upper mid-carder deal to convince her to join the brand. Swagger, well, if we keep Swagger and Ziggler in the same brand, it gives us another tag team. Seth Rollins, I think we can lock him in. Seth Rollins to ECW. I think we decided that a while ago. So ECW for Seth. Luke Gallows, we could probably move Gallows and Mercury. Split the Straight Edge Society up and let CM Punk go his separate way. We could perhaps do that. Mid-card, Del Rio, again, pretty low down the card. Is there anyone really standing in his way for a push? Not really. So I think he could still prosper here on Raw. Maybe Santino. Send Santino to SmackDown. Switch it up for him. Send him over there just to spice it up a bit. And maybe the Hart Dynasty as well. And the Hart Dynasty, I might send the Hart Dynasty to ECW. What do you guys think? ECW for the Hart Dynasty? Because they've been on Raw for the entire series, and they've basically beaten everyone there is. JB, welcome, man. So we'll leave it there. I'll put them down as a question mark, and I'll think about it. Okay, so, and then the lower mid-card, I don't know if we've even got any of these guys. Colt Cabana, he's still very, very new, so he could probably stay there. Jamie Noble. I'll put Jamie Noble on ECW. I'll send him over there. For women, enhancement? No, we got none. For women, we definitely need to switch some women up. So, Beth Phoenix. I'll send Beth Phoenix over. Could split her off in Natalia. Maybe the Bellas. Yeah, maybe the Bellas. Beth the part-timer. Beth's 27. She's not a part-timer. Eve's done a switch before, I believe. Gail Kim's done a switch. Melina, I might keep Melina here as our top woman on Raw, because we've got Trish over on SmackDown. Unless we're going to move Trish over. Although Melina feuding with Karma and Katie Lee would be really strong. So maybe we will move Melina over. Melina can go over, and then we might bring Mickie James to replace her on Raw. So that means we might keep the Bellas there for now. Maybe maybe we'll switch Eve over as well, and then we'll bring another woman to SmackDown to Raw. So occasional wrestler is only the Hulkster. Manager is just Bret Hart. So yeah, Crispy, just done, man. Announcers, I don't really want to break up JR and King. Why would you? You know, it's not necessary. They've got extremely good chemistry. There's no point. Move Maurice to Raw. If we're gonna send the Miz over, I might send. If the Miz is going to SmackDown, maybe I'll keep it here. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's take a look at SmackDown. Let's take a look. So, SmackDown. So we've got Edge and Christian, who, quite honestly, Edge and Christian as a switch would be good. We just have to kind of. We're just kind of throwing. What we're going to do is just throw some names out, and then once we kind of figure out who we want to switch, then we'll pick where they probably should go. But yeah, so, Morrison. Well, Morrison can stay. If Randy's going, Morrison can stay. Sting. Well, are we going to still keep using Sting? He's got a 1-year contract. If he's done with Undertaker, then Sting should probably go, or Taker should go. I think we'll keep Taker on SmackDown as that legendary character on SmackDown, but we might send Sting over to Raw. Sting to Raw. Samoa Joe, he can probably stay. Rey Mysterio, Sting is a free agent? Yeah, probably could. Edge and Christian. Well, no, we need some heels on SmackDown. Since SmackDown's lost Randy and Sting, they need some top heels. They do have Triple H. Oh, Triple H is a face. Yeah, no, Edge and Christian have to stay. Keep Morrison here. Kane could probably move. Yeah. We'll send Kane to Raw. Big Show can stay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So that's 3 main eventers moving. Upper mids, not many. Drew Mack. We've done Drew and Cody so many times, so I think maybe Drew switching could be good. Should Drew McIntyre maybe go to ECW? You think Drew could suit ECW as a? It'd be interesting there. Why shout up Midcard? Because he's got mid-60s pop. Drew Mack, yeah, I might put him as a maybe. I'll definitely probably switch in brands. It just depends which brand he's gonna go to. So tag teams. You guys have been saying Crime Time. Where do you think Crime Time should go? Raw? Crime Time to ECW. Okay, Crime Time to ECW might not be a bad pickup. Okay, we'll send them there. Crime Time can go ECW. You guys are saying Zach should go ECW. Broski on ECW, yeah. Maybe I'll send Hawkins with him to ECW. So that gives us a couple teams there. Raw does need another team. Maybe Raw should get Hawkins and Ryder. Depends if I move. We've got some teams in ECW we can definitely move around. Cesaro and Hero, Ono, yeah, they could probably stay. Yeah, Alex Riley. Yeah, Riley could probably stay. Brian Kendrick. I'll send Kendrick to Raw. Kendrick to Raw. And we'll send Wang Yang and Yoshitatsu to Raw as well. That gives them a low babyface team, which I think is what they kind of needed. It does... I think that kind of leaves us without many babyface teams, though, on SmackDown. Yeah, they'd lose all of their babyface teams. So... Interesting. They'll have to gain one back. Opener, do we have any of them? Don't think so. Enhancement, no. So women, Ryan would get lost in the shuffle on Raw. I don't think he would. There's certainly a spot there for an upper mid-card to thrive. Look at Seth Rollins. He went from nothing to hero, zero to hero. Alright, so SmackDown. I think Katie Lee should perhaps head over. She's beaten everyone there is to beat here, so I'm going to send Katie Lee to Raw. And I'll send Angelina with her, because Angelina would be nothing without her. So that's 2 heels. SmackDown got 2 babyfaces and a heel. So SmackDown, Mickie James. Maybe Mickie James could perhaps stay. Yeah, she could probably stay. Well, although if they get Melina... Yeah. Nah, yeah, we'll send Mickie. Because that's fair, because it'd be Katie Lee, Angelina, Mickie for Beth, Melina, Eve. That's a pretty even trade. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Maybe Maria could go over. So Maurice would still not be that prominent, but Maurice, who's the top heel? We've got Katie Lee over there on Raw, top heel with Michelle McCool. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Whereas SmackDown got Maurice Karma, Beth Phoenix. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Kelly as his top face with Trish, who I don't know how much longer we're going to use Trish for. Karma's got insane pop, so she's super over. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe like utilizing some of the lower girls, just making a switch there. Big Kev Nash. He hasn't got long left. He's got 3 months, so he's one of those guys that might go no brand, and if he needs to have a match somewhere, we can do that. Turn Beth face. Yeah, I think we probably will turn her face at some point. Shane O'Mac. He's more of an authority figure. Manager. Vicky. Crispy, thanks for the bits. You said you'll split tag belts after Mania. Yeah, I have not said that I was not going to. Once we get things sorted and we know where teams are going, then we can make that decision. Alright, so last thing, ECW. Alright, so let's have a look. ECW main eventers. Just 1 second. I'm not sure why. One moment. Okay. Kofi. I think Kofi probably should make the switch. Which brand? Babyface. So SmackDown would have Ray. They've got Morrison. They've got Joe. Raw has Cena. I think Cena needs to switch brands. Cena to SmackDown. Yeah. I don't know. Cena probably... Punk probably needs to switch too. We'll have to... Yeah, we'll have to definitely revisit that. It's probably a couple of guys at Raw that need to move. So Mark Henry... If we send Henry an MVP to either Raw or SmackDown on the same brand, then we can utilize them as a team. So... rather than split them, but maybe they would probably do better as, yeah, should they be a team? Mark Henry on his own would probably be fine. Probably doesn't need a team. So maybe Mark Henry, Mark Henry to Raw, SmackDown would be probably top heel behind Edge and Christian. Yeah, so we'll send him there. Mark Henry. Kennedy's staying. RVD. RVD is like an ECW legend, so he kind of stays there. Kofi, what do you guys think? Kofi for Mysterio? It's a big call. Although Ray would definitely get his push on ECW, but he's behind Morrison. Ray and Morrison are number 1 and 2 babyface. Oh, Triple H as well. So Ray would probably be number 2 or 3 babyface on SmackDown right now. Interesting. Swap Morrison, Cena. You keep the world titles in the same brand, because I want Morrison and Orton different brands. Kofi on SmackDown. It's tough, man. Doing a draft is tough. What do you guys think? RVD the unemployment line? Yeah, I know, right? RVD's been pretty bad. Ray for Henry or Kofi? Alright, put a 1 in the chat if you want Ray on ECW. How do you give the bits? There's a bits button, and you just click on that, and if you have bits, you can utilize it there. ECW, a big shot on ECW. I don't know, man. Lots of 1s. Ray for Kofi. A few no's coming in. Ray isn't ECW. What are you talking about? He had a stint in ECW back in the day. Keep Ray and Show together. Yeah, it does give us a tag team. Yeah, it does. Shit, man, I don't know. Who's Kofi gonna switch for then? I'm not putting Cena on ECW. Not Kane, he's been there. Joe, I see. There's really no one on SmackDown. Raw. Jericho? Maybe Jericho for Mark Henry? But, man, this is tough. Seth's a top face, but he's not popular enough to be the top face. He's got 70 pop. Kofi for Randy? Nah, Randy's not going ECW. Jericho for Henry. Yeah, I like that. Jericho to Henry. I think Jericho would probably become ECW champion for sure. Whereas I don't know if he would, because CM Punk's ahead of him. You know, well ahead of him. Shawn Michaels is probably ahead of him now. King of Twitch, thank you so much for the bits, man. Alright, I'm going to go Jericho to ECW. And Mark Henry can go to Raw. So heel for heel. Maybe Kofi stays on ECW. I'm not sure. MVP. Well, we need a top. We've got 3 really good heels. We need another good babyface. So where can MVP head to? Babyface. I mean Morrison, but I want him to maybe stay on SmackDown and be the top face there. One of. MVP for Masters. That's a huge gap. You do like Homicide for Masters, you know. Keep Kofi. Oh man, this is tough. Big Show. You guys still think Big Show and Ray together? MVP's got 87 pops, so if you're gonna switch him, it needs to be a pretty big name. We do need another strong babyface. We do have Matt Hardy, who we can continue to elevate, or we could switch him over. Miz and Batista to ECW, Henry to SmackDown, MVP to Raw. That's not bad. I don't know if I want Batista at ECW though. I just don't feel like he would suit it. If you put Ray on ECW, who will he lose to? Well, he's got Chris Jericho. Ah, shit. This is tough. Alright. Let's take a look at ECW's upper mid-card. Look at that. Bobby Roode. Well, Bobby Roode's had some success immediately on ECW. I feel like he could definitely continue to rise. He could probably compete with Seth Rollins for that spot. Or we could send Roode to another brand and let him feud there. SmackDown needs another upper mid-card face. They got Booker T, but let's be honest. So Roode could probably go over, but who do you get? Fuck, man, this is. I think we might. I don't know. Maybe we could stay there. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's more of a main eventer, to be honest, for ECW, anyways. Matt Hardy's getting a bit. Well, if he stays, he's one of the top faces. Dudley's can stay. R-Truth, I don't even know what to do with this poor guy anymore. Truth could probably go to SmackDown. I could see him doing okay there. Because there's only really Drew McIntyre to compete with him. Samoa Joe, yeah, but I think Joe will be main eventer before we know it. Release Truth? No, I'm not going to release him. Truth through Crime Time? Shelton. Shelton could probably switch. I mean, he's been here for a while now. But he's tag team champion, so. Midcard, Carlito. I think Carlito and Primo could maybe make a jump. And maybe they could go to Raw. Well, maybe Carlito stays solo and Primo and Epico go together as a tag team instead, and Carlito stays singles. If that's the case, maybe he could go to SmackDown. SmackDown needs faces, not heels, though. Come back to it. What do you guys think about Daniel Bryan and Rhino? What should we do with these guys? Should we keep them as a team? They're getting over as a tag team, both doing well. Should they stay here on ECW or maybe switch over? SmackDown does need a babyface tag team, so there is a spot there for them. And also, if you don't want to have them team, there's a spot for them as singles. So maybe I think that might be perfect for them. So might send Brino to SmackDown. I think that might work. Goldust and Hurricane, I'm going to send them to Raw. Because we're getting Crime Time as a top face team and Hawkins and Ryder. So we don't really need them. And I'm sure the other brands could use another team. So we'll go with that. Mike Knox. Might keep him there, I don't know. Davey Richards, now that Low Key's gone and maybe Carlito, Davey Richards might get more of a chance to shine here on ECW, so he might stay. Look at AJ Lee. I'll look at debutantes later. Welcome, Real Toxic. You build Masters to main event in ECW. I think you might be right, man. I think you might be right. I feel like he's behind a lot of guys. So maybe, yeah. Alright, I'll do it. Chris Masters to ECW. I could see him kind of fitting there. Not too bad. Low mid-card. Gabriel. Gabriel's done pretty well here on ECW. Should he switch over? He could. I'm not sure if he would really prosper anywhere else. Sabu and Dream will stay here. Beretta and Croft, they're a low-end team. We kind of need them here. Opener, nobody. Enhancement, nobody. Occasional, nobody. And there's only a couple of women. They're all managers. We kind of need them too. Yeah. Alright, man. This is tough. Tough. At the moment, Raw's got 3 more people than SmackDown and 4 more people than ECW set to switch. Shit. Alright, so what I might do is I'll make some of the changes that I've said now. We'll put them in motion, so then we can take a bit of a look at the rosters and see where and what we need to switch. So Kane to Raw. Kofi we haven't decided yet. Henry to Raw. Orton to Raw. Sheamus. Sheamus. It might be okay on Raw still. Sting's on Raw. Sting, we're really part-time. I don't think he'll have that many more matches. They're not regular anyway. Not sure what we're going to do with The Miz yet. Miz will take a look at the brands and see who needs what. Make our decision. Man, this is actually tough. Trying to balance these rosters out and get them right. It's not easy. I appreciate your help, but we're struggling a little bit. Booker to SmackDown. Thank you for the bits. Could the Rotundas be called up as an ECW team? If they're ready. I think Bray might be ready. I'm not sure about Bo. Rollins to ECW. Shad to ECW. Victoria, yeah, I'll keep her there. Alright, Brian to SmackDown. And I think Brian could be a bit of a pet project on SmackDown. He was just lost in the shuffle a little bit on ECW. Might get more of a chance to shine SmackDown. Gold Justice to Raw. Just bear with me for a second, guys. As we switch these up. And this will give me a bit of a better look, and I can kind of see who who needs to go where. So, okay. Lower guys. Kendrick to Raw. Wang Yang to Raw. Tatsu to Raw. So, Raw's got a few more baby faces for sure with this switch. Noble went to ECW. So basically a job guy. ECW maybe. Enhancements, I don't think we even have any of them. Women. So Angelina to Raw. Beth Phoenix to SmackDown. Eve to SmackDown. Katie Lee to Raw. Melina to SmackDown. Mickey to Raw. And I think that was it for the women. I feel like we might make maybe one more change for the women there. And occasionals can all stay the same. I'll probably transition Foley into being a commentator for ECW. And maybe have Heyman drop out and be manager instead. Alright, so let's take a look. Let's start with ECW. So Matt Hardy, Jericho, Kingston, MVP, Kennedy, RVD, main eventers. So that gives you main event. It gives you three. I guess if you want to include RVD, he's not really a main eventer, but if you want to, gives you three. Maybe make him up Midcard. Oh, his contract says he has to be main eventer as per contract. So it gives you 3 face, 3 heel there. With Jericho the main change. I feel like we do need to change one of these baby faces out because we've done these combinations so much. We get rid of Kofi for someone else. I think that might be a good move. Up mid-card, Rude, the Dudleys, Truth, Seth Rollins, Shad, Shelton. Trade MVP for Masters. I feel like that's just too unfair of a trade. Maybe Carlito for Masters. Might be a little bit closer. The mid-card, so obviously JTG's in there, Zach and Kurt, Hawkins. Kind of balances it out a little bit more. Not too bad. Yeah, so there's still... ECW didn't get a lot of new guys. But I feel like they do need a couple more fresh faces. Kofi for Big Show. You really think Big Show for ECW? It probably would be the best trade that we could do. The closest trade. Masters and Carlito as a team. Yeah, I always liked Masters and Carlito as a team. If we send MVP to Raw, then you still got Henry and MVP together. It's not a bad thing, just pointing it out. But you're getting a main event heel for an upper mid card. So what do you guys think? Kofi for a Big Show, yes or no? We'll look at SmackDown. So they've got Edge and Christian top heels with, well, they're very babyface strong. Triple H, face, Taker, Show, Joe, Ray, and Morrison. Only 2 heels. SmackDown does need a top heel. Not a face. So maybe Big Show goes over for MVP. Because SmackDown needs another top heel badly. Which is strange because they've been really heel heavy, but I think you might have to go that, or you could send Punk over. CM Punk over for somebody. And that would give you absolutely your top heel, but Edge is pretty strong. But they're tag team guys. Batista could make the switch, yeah, and become more of a factor. The Miz as well, yeah. Miz could switch. We'll have a quick look at Raw. So Raw's got quite a few guys. So Batista, Punk, Henry, Orton, Michaels, Sting, The Miz as heels. They've got ridiculous. So I'll send The Miz to SmackDown. Miz or Batista? Batista's kind of lost here a little bit. Maybe both. Because Mark Henry's above him, Orton's above him, Punk's above him. So many. Isn't Shawn going? No, Triple H went. Miz to SmackDown? Alright. Maybe I'll just try and push Batista again, probably. You know, he's behind so many. Sting, Sting's more of like a free agent type of guy. Like, he might just float. I don't know. So this is more like it. So you got Batista, Punk, Henry, Orton, Shawn. So you got as your heels, Sheamus, Kane, Cena as your faces. I wouldn't mind Punk switching, but Punk might have to turn face. I don't know. Kind of done the heel run. He might be due for a face turn. Because that would give us Punk and Orton. It's either Punk or Orton has to turn face. One of them has to turn. Because that would give us... If Punk turned, he'd get Punk and Batista, Punk and Orton, Punk and Henry, Punk and Shawn Michaels again. Punk and Sheamus. Lots of new matchups there that we haven't really seen. Oh, not Punk and Sheamus. We haven't really done that. Orton, no, it doesn't matter. Randy's, everyone he's facing except for Kane is a new matchup for Randy. So, all brand new for Randy. Whereas Punk's already faced Cena. He's, matches Batista, Shawn already. So, Sheamus. So, I think he might have to go babyface. Punk for Ray. Yeah. So, with this change, we've got SmackDown's pretty strong. Edge and Christian as the heels with The Miz. Taker, Triple H. Triple H could probably always turn heel. Triple H, Taker, Big Show. We could switch Big Show for MVP, and that would sort everything, and that would make everything kind of balanced again. But then you have Big Show and Jericho on the same brand again, which I don't know if we want to do that. If we lose Ray, Ray's probably number 3 babyface number 4 babyface right now. So maybe Ray going over isn't such a bad idea. Because then, at least, he would probably get a world title run. At the moment, I don't see him getting a run over Triple H, Taker, and Morrison. He'd have to go over Morrison, and I don't know. And it's much more believable for Rey Mysterio to be world champ because you don't have the giants. You don't have the Big Show to deal with, you know, those types of big guys that he has to take down. I don't know. What do you guys think? Rey for MVP, yes or no? I don't know. So many decisions to make. It's tough. It's not easy. Swap Cena and Rey. Well, there's an idea, because then you get Cena and Edge, Cena and Christian. That might be the right play. Rey and CM Punk, you could do that. That would be really good. Rey and Orton, we never really did Rey, Mysterio, Randy Orton, so that match is still on the cards. Absolutely. Rey and Batista. I think Rey for Cena. Rey for Cena. Cena to SmackDown. Because then Cena might get the push over Morrison, Triple H, and Taker as the #1 face. Because at the moment, Cena... Well, where's Cena on Raw at the moment? So, Cena would be #1 babyface right now on Raw. Absolutely. He's ahead of everyone else as the #1 babyface. So he's in a pretty good spot. So it's quite possible he could beat Randy for the belt. But it would just give us so many more fresh matchups if we had... Well, actually, we've got Cena and Shawn, Cena and Orton, Cena and Henry. The only real stale ones is Punk and Cena. We've done it a million times, and Punk and Cena and Batista. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I think it's good either way. You got Triple H probably. Yeah, Triple H might. Cena's #1 over there. Rey, I think Rey for MVP might still be on the cards. And yeah, Punk, you could have... It's Punk and Orton, one of them are going to have to turn if we keep them on the same brand. Rey for Punk. Well, we've got Edge as the #1 heel. And that's it. So Punk could probably come to SmackDown and dominate it. He'd only really have Edge standing in his way, whereas he's got Randy really in his way at the moment. And Randy and Punk are probably our two best workers in the company. Do you want them both on the same brand? I don't think so. I think you'd rather have them on different brands to maximize your performances. So maybe Randy should stay. Punk should go for Rey. Keep ignoring your messages. I'm trying to read as much as I can whilst playing the game. I'm reading them just because I'm not interacting doesn't mean I'm not reading them. Rey fits for Punk fills the gap that each roster lacks. Alright, we'll do it. I'll decide it. Punk's going. And Rey's going over. Alright, well, where does this leave ECW? We've got Matt Hardy, Kofi Kingston, top heel, top faces with MVP Kennedy, Jericho. It's a little stale, isn't it? It's a little stale. With upper mid-card and Raw being Masters, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger. Well... You guys thinking Chris Masters could jump over to ECW? What about Bobby Roode for Chris Masters? Because we have Homicide, remember? He is like red hot right now. So he could probably become a top heel. So maybe Chris Masters stay put. More of a chance to become US champion over there. SmackDown, well, SmackDown again's quite weak. Drew Mack, Booker T, Cody Rhodes, Ted. We definitely need to elevate someone on SmackDown. We do have Daniel Bryan that we're looking to elevate, so that fills that a little bit with Rhino. So we can try and elevate them. MVP for Big Show. You still think that? Big Show. Yeah, Big Show's faced majority of these guys. So, alright, MVP for Big Show. MVP for Big Show. Yes, Jericho and Big Show on the same brand, but whatever. Maybe they can do a feud to start off again. MVP to SmackDown. So that gives... So what will that do for SmackDown? So SmackDown has Punk, Edge, Christian, Miz, and MVP. So maybe... So MVP kind of gets lost in the shuffle then, doesn't he? A little lost in the shuffle. Maybe Batista for MVP and try and elevate Batista again. Maybe Batista drops down to mid-card. Yeah, Punk could obviously turn as well. MVP for Sheamus. That could work. But we have... Yeah, it would be pretty heel. Oh, fuck. But yeah, I don't know. Batista for MVP. MVP for Sheamus. Well, what that does though, it does kind of give us too many heels for Raws up mid card because none of these guys are heel. They're all face. They're all heel. So having Sheamus there gives you an upper mid card, low end main event face to utilize there. Maybe Batista needs to turn face for Raw. Could he do it? Batista turns babyface and becomes... So you got Ray, you got Cena, you got Ray, Batista as number 3, Shawn, Henry, Orton as your heels. You don't really need MVP to make your Cody Rhodes can easily be main eventer. Yeah, you're right. Well, does MVP just stay put? Maybe we just don't trade him. Because I'm just thinking, maybe we trade Broken Matt to spice it up. I don't know, because we've done a lot of these matchups. Broken Matt for someone. Because I just feel like ECW just needs a little bit of a freshener. Maybe RVD for Drew McIntyre. Matt for Sheamus. You think Sheamus would work on ECW? Yeah, I don't think it'd be too bad. Matt Hardy for Sheamus. Yeah, okay, yeah. What do you think? Matt Hardy for Sheamus? Yeah or no? Just think of Sheamus. Yeah, I mean, I think he did start in ECW, didn't he? Back in the day. Sheamus versus Chris Jericho. Sheamus versus Kennedy. Sheamus versus MVP. Okay. Switch Sheamus. Alright, so this gives us Jericho, Kofi, MVP, Kennedy, Van Dam, Sheamus, Big Show. I feel like ECW's lost its identity a little bit, but it certainly gives us some interesting matchups nonetheless. Kennedy and Sheamus, Kennedy and Big Show, Kennedy and Kofi can still keep going. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that's okay. Show the XL. It's a bit messy at the moment, but we've kind of executed everything at the moment. But we'll get there in a minute. And a lot of the changes I just made I haven't written down. Okay, so I think that is a wrap for our main eventers. So we'll take a look. You got Raw. You got Batista, Matt Hardy, Cena, Kane, Mark Henry, Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Shawn Michaels. So Batista, Mark Henry, Orton, Shawn Michaels as your heels, Ray, Kane, Cena, Matt as your faces. That's pretty good. That's fine. Matt Hardy can definitely work with Dolph Ziggler in Jack Swagger in the upper mid card. Absolutely. Even Batista could work down there too. Let's not forget on ECW. Seth Rollins, he's there as well. He's certainly really, really on the rise. Homicide, he's definitely not mid-carder. He's almost a main eventer, to be honest. So ECW's got Bobby Roode coming through. Homicide, very close to getting main event status. R-Truth still down there. Shelton, and Seth. So some good names down there. I think R-Truth or Bobby Roode may need a switch because you could see we've got Truth, we've got Roode, we've got Rollins. 3 upper mid-card baby faces there. Truth could probably switch maybe for another heel because we're just kind of lacking a little bit there as a heel. Because I'm not sure other than Homicide and Shelton, is there any other heels coming through the ranks? Carlito, yeah, Dave Richards, not really. So, yeah, you could do a Chris Masters switch over there. Truth from Chris Masters would give you Truth and Dolph Ziggler, Truth and Batista. So there's a few matchups he could kind of do over there. Truth and Masters might work. But in saying that, how far... I don't think Chris Masters would be ahead of Shelton and Homicide. Like, they're just way better. So maybe not. Alright, I don't know, man. So let's take a look at Smackdown. So Christian, Punk, Edge, Morrison, Joe, Miz, Taker, Triple H. Faces are Triple H, Undertaker, Morrison, Joe. We don't book Joe really as a face, but he technically is. I know he probably shouldn't be. Heels, Punk's still a heel. Jury's out if we should switch him or not. We probably don't need to switch him for a while because you could do Punk versus Triple H, Punk versus Undertaker. That would be really good. Punk and Undertaker, like that's money. And Punk and John Morrison, that's a lot of money there too. So that's pretty good. Switch Truth for Drew McIntyre. I think that might be the only real play because that would get rid of Cody and McIntyre, Ted and McIntyre. We've done that so many times. I think that might be the only play. And McIntyre, whilst he's good, we're not really pushing him as the next big thing. Like he's going to be solid in our upper mid-card long term. And who knows, he might even prosper a little bit more. So we'll send Truth over to SmackDown, and that can give us Truth and Cody, Truth and Ted. A few matchups there that I like for sure. So what are we liking? Which main event scene are we liking more? We got Raw. Yeah, it's pretty even. You know, it's pretty even. I like it. You know, Raw, Michaels and Mysterio, that could be a feud. Orton and Mysterio, Orton and Cena, Henry and Cena. There's some good matchups there. For SmackDown, as we said, SmackDown probably has the best in-ring talent, I think. These are the guys that will probably put on the hundreds, in my opinion. And I think it's probably because Edge and Christian are there. That's really strong. And obviously ECW, we're never really going to make ECW the #1 brand, but I feel like this is probably the strongest that it's been for quite some time. You know, Jericho and Kofi would be really good. MVP, you know, he's got some new opponents as well with Sheamus and Big Show there. And of course, Mr. Kennedy's the champion, so he's got lots of new opponents to face as well. And that should be interesting for him. So whilst it's not the strongest, we know that, but it's not too bad. Certainly with Chris Jericho getting more of a chance to shine. Kofi Kingston's getting better and better each time we see him. So some definite potential for ECW to start hitting higher rated shows. Maybe even more 90 rated shows there. So what do you guys think? A lot of people saying SmackDown. I think probably SmackDown probably does win. But at the end of the day, wherever CM Punk goes, that's kind of the brand that basically wins, isn't it? You know, he's the man. But Punk and Morrison on the same brand, what a feud that would be. But let's not forget, with Raw, Randy Orton's been our #1 wrestler. Absolutely. 100%. He's the #1 guy in the company. He's averaging 97. Put that in perspective. He's averaging 97. 97 this year. That is outrageous. His worst match is 91. You think about that. Some guys would kill for a 91, and his worst is 91. It's crazy. So he's the #1 guy. He's now on Raw. Cena, well, he's been a little bit down, but he's still averaging 90 over the last, you know, a year and a bit. So we can elevate Cena again. He can definitely match Randy Orton, in my opinion. All brands have been strengthened. I think so. What it does, I think what we've been able to do is freshen up every brand without really weakening them. I think they've all gained what they've needed. Obviously, upper mid-carders and mid-card we haven't kind of sorted yet. But I think with the main event, I think everything has been freshened. They've gained what they've needed. They haven't lost anything major. You know, I think we've done more of a like-for-like trade. So I'm pretty satisfied with what we've been able to do there. Now we have to kind of keep moving down. So let's go look at the upper mid-card. And this is the kind of the frustrating thing where we have to go piece by piece a little bit. But Raw has got Machine Guns still, Shelley and Sabin. Chris Masters is still there. And Masters has got a lot of pop, 75. The only issue we have here is he's a heel, 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 heel. Oh, they're all heels. That's an issue. The other issue we have is that we don't have any real baby faces to replace them with. Meg, I am ignoring you because you've spam called AJ Lee for the last half an hour, and I've already said that I will be calling people up later. So you've been typing the same thing over and over when I've already answered your query. So it's all heels. Maybe Rollins back. Maybe. Real Toxic, thank you so much for the bits. SmackDown won the Superstar Shake-Up in real life and the draft for this save. Are you going to call up anyone that maybe Raw already said we try and hide that SmackDown won the draft? We'll be definitely calling a few people up. 100%. Yeah. Do we turn Swagger face? No, he's not really a good face. Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler could do it. Ziggler turning might not be the worst idea because it would give you Ziggler and Masters, Ziggler and Swagger. You do lose a tag team, but Ziggler and Swagger have been... Well, they could probably be a decent team, to be honest. I'm sure they could be. I feel like a turn for Ziggler might solve our issues. So we turn him face. That might be what we need. Smackdown's up mid-card. Jack, thank you so much for the bits. If you call people up that are face, then it should be fine. Well, the call-up's got a lot less popularity, so it probably won't change too much, but, yeah. SmackDown's got a lot less up and mid-carders. You could perhaps look at your main eventers and go, okay, Samoa Joe, is he a main eventer? The game doesn't think so. Put him back down to up and mid-card. You know, Joe's just starting out, really. Joe's going to get better and better every time we see him move up the card. So that makes things a bit more balanced. You got Booker T, who arguably is 1 foot out the door. Cody, Truth, Joe, Ted. So 3 faces, 2 heels. That's pretty decent. They're all pretty fresh matchups still to go with. We'll worry about the mid-card in a minute. And then ECW's up mid-card. Bobby Roode, the Dudleys, Drew McIntyre's there now. I like that. McIntyre and Homicide would be good. Rollins is still there. I feel like Rollins will definitely still succeed despite having a bit more competition now. But in saying that, you got Bobby Roode and Seth Rollins on the same brand, where I want both of them to become main eventers. Is it wise to have them both in the same brand? Which brand would Seth Rollins do the best on? Would he succeed more on ECW? Or is it Raw and SmackDown? Because he was killing it on Raw. Does he switch? Rollins for Swagger? Turn Roode heel? Roode would do better as a heel, yes. But we do need him as a face for right now. So maybe you could keep them together, and then in the long run, Roode does do the heel turn, whereas Rollins stays babyface. Okay. So when they finally, both reach that main event point, maybe turn 1, and that might solve a few issues there. Okay. No, we haven't booked any shows yet. We're still drafting. And obviously Crime Time are there with Shad Shelton. The problem is we can't really check our teams that easily without booking a show, so that's a bit of an issue. Alright, so let's have a look at our mid-card. And we'll start with Raw. Del Rio, David Hart Smith, Gold Justice, Joey Mercury, Paul Burchill, the Hart Dynasty, Straight Society. So I don't mind that. So that gives us clearly a few teams. Gold Justice, Straight Society, the Hart Dynasty, Machine Guns, Swagger and Ziggler, which is probably going to break up. So there's a few teams now on Raw. There's definitely some few teams there. SmackDown, again, you've got Riley there as your heel singles, Cesaro and Ono as a tag team, Chavo and Eric still team, Daniel Bryan and Rhino as a team / singles, Santino as a face singles, Tomko is doing whatever, heel I guess. So that's okay, I don't mind that. They don't really need anything there. ECW's got Carlito, who I figured could probably use a switch, but maybe not yet. Have I got Twitch partnered yet? No, not yet. Not yet. I have applied, and we are in like the second phase of perhaps getting it. I'm waiting for a reply. Hawkins and Zach have joined it. Dreamer and Sabu are there. Tajiri is certainly suits ECW. Mike Knox, Tanaka, Prime Time. Okay, yeah. Lower mid. Justin Gabriel. What about Justin Gabriel heading over to Raw? let's have a look at Raw's lower mid card. They've got Kendrick, Cabana. They're all faces there. They're all face. Kendrick could probably turn heel and give us a low mid card heel with Cabana and maybe Gabriel moving up to be that face. Smackdown have got no lower mid carders. None. That's an issue. And a lot of these guys, well, Santino's similar. Because just look at an ECW, I just don't see how Justin Gabriel's going to get above Zack Ryder. You know, those types of guys. I don't see how that's going to happen. So, I think Gabriel to Raw might work. Gives us another low-end guy anyways. And if you wanted, he could do a turn. Oh, he's a better face, though. Alright, and openers, well, we've got Jamie Noble. We'll make Jamie Noble a low or mid-carder just to balance that out. Poor Jamie, but SmackDown's probably got none. No. SmackDown's got really no low guys at all. Raw, not so much either. And we'll look at the women's. So, for Raw's women, we've got Angelina, Brie, Kim, Jillian, Katie, Layla, Melissa, Michelle, James, Natty, and Nikki. Okay. I can see a couple changes I want to do already here. So, what I might... SmackDown might have too many faces, so I might send... Let's have a look at Raw. How many they've got? Heel, face, face, heel, 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 face, face, face. I might switch Jillian over so she can job out on a different brand. Switch her over, and we'll find another woman for her to switch with. I'm thinking maybe a Maria, or maybe a Molly Holly, or Becky. We'll go Molly Holly. Just another job girl on there. Molly Holly could turn if we needed her to as well, to switch things up. And that's pretty much the rosters. ECW's got some women, but they don't really wrestle. They're just managers. None of them, maybe only... Well, do we even want Rosa Mendes to get in the ring? I'm kind of saving you guys all a bit of pain there by not making you go in the ring. I don't really want to see those 20 rated performances. So I think we're pretty good. What do you guys think? Are we happy with the rosters? Should we maybe switch something different? Alright. Alright. So, let's take a look at some people to call up. Now, straight away, throw some names at me. Who would you like to see get the call up to the main roster? What we'll look at is great workers. Wow, David Atunga's a great worker. Okay. Oh, shit. 73 Brawl? Wow. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. The audio is weird. Is it? Alright, so I think Atunga was complaining, was he? I know Wade Barrett, Ryback are definitely complaining. Who else? I forget. The Usos. Probably the Usos could get the call. I think we could move them up. With the Usos, though, I'd like to look at my tag team divisions and analyze that. I think, looking at it, SmackDown could probably use the Usos more as a face team. So I'll just write down some call-up names. So call-ups So the Usos are up. They're going to get the call. Primo's down. Yeah, we called Primo down, didn't we? With Epico. So Primo's down there with Epico. Serena, she could probably move up a little bit more. Park's probably ready. I think Neville would be good for ECW, obviously. What do you guys think? Bray Wyatt, Atunga Lewington, Asuka. I don't really want to bring up Asuka just yet. I feel like it's too soon to kind of have her in this company. We've got her there, but keep her working developmental for a bit. Emma's not quite ready yet. But David Otunga, he feels like he's pretty much ready, and he's surprisingly not bad. Actually not that bad. I'll go down to good workers. So AJ Lee, that guy who wanted me to check AJ Lee for the last 25 times. Here she is. Skills are mediocre. The thing about AJ Lee is we need another woman on the roster. We've kind of got a few. You might have to think about firing a couple. Interesting. You know, like maybe a Jillian Hall gets fired, or Maria or someone. I feel like we probably should fire a few. E-Factor, thank you for the bits. What have you missed? We've just drafted the entire new rosters. I think it's easy if I just look. Yeah, we are looking at good workers, actually. Wade Barrett, he'll get called up. So Wade Barrett, he's ready. As ready as he's ever going to be. So we'll give him the call. Tyler Breeze thinks he's ready. I don't think so yet. He's not too bad, actually, Tyler Breeze. He's probably one of the better guys down here. Steve Lewington, I think Steve has done really well. Now, he might not have been a great star in real life WWE, but he's done really good here in our developmental. I think he deserves the call. So we'll give him a shot. He gets the call up. Bray Wyatt, is he champion? He still is champion. I don't like to call people up when they're champion. So I'd rather wait until he loses that belt. Because I don't like vacating the championships. But he's not that great. But he's probably about as ready as he's ever going to be. Give Steve Lewington a new name. What do you think Lewington's name should be? He is English, so Wade Barrett and Lewington could be a team. I think they were teaming up, weren't they? Yeah, so Barrett and Lewington have been tag team champs. They still are tag team champions. So you could maybe do a team of those two guys together. That would be an easy way to get them introduced to the roster. It's not a bad idea. Can you call up Roman, or at least check him, see if he's close to getting called up? Roman Reigns. Still has 8 more skills that can be improved. He's getting better. He's just not quite there yet. Steve Puppy Sanchez. Yeah, interesting. Ryback thinks he's ready. If I'm going to bring up Ryback, I'd love to bring him up with Mason Ryan, who probably isn't ready yet, but we might have to push him up a little bit sooner than expected. And that will give us that real big diesel team. So I think I'll bring them up as a tag team rather than solo. I've always liked Ryback, so I could see myself pushing him, but I think Mason Ryan and Ryback together would be a nice little low-end team for us to work on. Who else? Darren Young thinks he's ready. He's not good at all. He's got some really bad stats. Not much going for him at all. Hassan, not ready. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is good, but I feel like there's other guys that deserve to get called up before him. So I feel like I might leave him down there. And obviously Owens, we see him in WWE a little bit later, so I kind of want to keep with the time with a lot of guys that did appear in this time period. Give them the call now and utilize them. So let's call up the Usos. Jimmy and Jay. Give them the call. Barrett called up. Ryback the call. Like I said, I don't think Mason Ryan is ready yet, but you can see he's improved quite a lot in a lot of his areas. Geez, their mic skills are bad. They almost need a manager. But I feel like him getting the call would be good. You could probably pair him with Mason Ryan Batista, have a feud. Release some developmental people. Oh, you tell me who to release and I'll maybe think about it. Release Sweet Papi Sanchez? Yeah, with pleasure. I don't think we need to release anyone. If anything, we need to sign a couple more people now. Brooke Testmarker. I always like Brooke. How's she traveling? She's not bad. Yeah, she's not too bad. Big E. Not quite there yet. Should we call up a woman? You think AJ Lee? AJ Lee's just about peaked by the looks of it. Release Tyler Rex. Where's Bo Dallas? That's a good point. Where is Bo? Did he get released? Maybe. Did he get released? Oh, he's there. I'm just blind. Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. I know what I did. I had it set to people who are good workers. My bad. So Bo Dallas is not considered to be a good worker. Alright, so that gives us a lot more people to look at. So there's definitely more people we can fire. Alright. My bad. My bad. So who should get the fire then? Who should we get the boot? Percy Watson, he had a pretty good performance. He's developed quite a lot, but he could probably do a bit more. Rusev, not ready yet. Steve Luto, we're going to call him up, yeah. He gets the call. Tamina, she sucks. Still. Dillinger, Rex. Fire, Darren Young. I think Darren Young's pretty crap. The only thing he's good for is the primetime players. Abraham Washington could probably get fired. Alright, well, let's fire a few people. Think Darren Young should go? This is like his peak. This is like as good as he's going to get. Darren Young just doesn't have the skills. Yeah, I don't know. How many bits to fire Darren Young? Let's say 500. Brett DiBiase. Yeah, we probably don't need Brett DiBiase. He's not getting any better. I'll let Brett go. Sorry, Ted. Let Brett go. Reed Flair. It's a sad story. Sad story that I don't really want any more part of. Tyler Rex. He's not the worst. Tunga's strange. He's actually pretty good. Like, I'm really surprised that he's actually pretty good. Anyone else? I might leave Park down there for a little bit longer. Probably don't need to call him up yet. Yeah, I've done the draft. Brandy Reed, keep her for a little bit longer. I just got her. Abraham Washington. The only thing he'd be good for is a manager. But who needs a manager right now? Nobody, really. Nobody, really. As a worker... Nah. Big Andy? Apparently it's 91 star quality. Get out of here. Keep him there for a little bit longer. Ryback and Mason Ryan need a manager. Yeah, it's true. Thank you for the bit, Summer. Why is Dillinger's name wrong? I don't know. Maybe I spelt it wrong, or maybe it was already wrong. I don't know. Alright. We'll leave it at that. So, Wade Barrett. Lower mid-carder. So he's currently a heel. Good gimmick, that's good news. So he's a heel, he's got 49 pop, not too bad. Who needs a low heel? Smackdown? I think Barrett's a Smackdown guy in my opinion. I just see him on Smackdown. So I might send him there. And I'd like to see Barrett and Lewington together as a team. I just feel like that could work. It just gives us another team. And I know I kind of called them up with them being champions. I forgot that they were. My bad. Whoops. So... Usos. Maybe the Usos for ECW then. Maybe that more high-flying team for ECW. Because I think ECW's lost a couple teams now, so I think they might need another team to fill that in. So, and then Raw gets Ryback and Mason Ryan as another team. So basically, we called up three lots of teams, 3 new teams to the tag divisions, which works out pretty well. It's kind of what we needed. And obviously a lot of them can break away and be singles as well, but yeah. Yep. I'm happy about that. Jimmy Uso needs a gimmick. What's Jay's? Where is Jay there? Young Lion. We'll see what we can do with him. Usos to Raw. I just feel like I feel like Mason Ryan and Ryback would be better on there. They are probably pretty good heels currently. You just think back in the day they would start as faces, but I suppose they might have started as heels, not sure. Maybe Cocky Youth could do the job pretty comfortably. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I think everyone we called up was basically heel. Steve Lewington's a heel. Yeah, I think everyone we called up is heel. What's Ryback and Mason Ryan? Yeah, they're probably heel. Yeah, we called up 6 heels. Wow. Interesting. Oh, so maybe not a bad idea. Maybe one more. Any more call-ups? So we get basically called up 2 teams. AJ Lee, should we give her a call? AJ Lee, she's currently heel. Again, another heel. But I think we do need another heel for Raw. For Raw's women. Have a look. Karma, Maurice, and Beth are all top heels. So I think AJ might fit in okay there on SmackDown. As that next girl coming through. In terms of performance, so maybe just keep what she's got. It's average, that's good enough. Ric Flair is going to apparently leave the company tomorrow because his loan period runs out. So maybe we'll have Ric Flair show up on Raw, do something there. You made that one guy's dream come true. Yeah, so wherever that guy is, I did it for you, brother. We got you, man. Fire Maria. We need low-end girls. We need girls who can fill a roster spot. Maria, just to lose. And Maria does that. Jillian Hall does that. Rather than one of the girls looking to push, losing, it kind of fits in that spot pretty well. Have AJ Lee manage CM Punk. CM Punk does not need a manager though. Punk is the best talker we've got. You know. And why would Punk associate himself with a low-end chick? Pay Tiger, welcome. That's the draft. I think we're done. We do need to switch the world titles over. So, the world heavyweight title, the big gold belt's now back on Raw. And the WWE title, where is that? WWE heavyweight. Triple H has, is now on SmackDown. Bit old school, I suppose. Slater and Gabriel tag team. Heath Slater. Slater's much better as a heel, so Gabriel will probably need a turn. Slater's not too bad, to be honest. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. What do you guys think? Slater? Bring him up with Gabriel? Maybe we can edit Slater's face to make him better as a babyface, just to allow that to happen. Because I think he does end up being a pretty good babyface. Slater's pretty good, to be honest. He's got good mic skills. He's pretty decent in the ring. I think he's pretty much ready. He could probably get the call up. Keep them face, and that will give us another team. I like that. We'll do that. So that'll be the last guy we'll call up. Heath Slater. Which brand's Gabriel? I think he's on Raw, isn't he? I'm not sure. What's Heath Slater's name? Heath Miller or something? Yeah. And we make his face performance, you know, a B. We'll even them out. Make them 75 apiece. Yeah, okay, we'll even that out. So Justin Gabriel is on Raw. So Heath Slater can join him. Making him a babyface. And I'll make him a fun babyface. Because that's kind of what he is. A bit of a goofy babyface. What's Gabriel? Gabriel's a fair favorite. So that'll work. That'll work. I might have Becky Bayless not manage Justin Gabriel anymore because we kind of need her on ECW to fill that spot as a woman, unless we change our product settings where we don't need to have a woman on each show, which might probably be a better idea. Then we don't need to force that to happen. And if that's the case, I don't know if we keep Becky Bayless, she might get fired. Think about it. And Slater needs he's on Raw, and he needs to be low mid-card. Okay, that's pretty good. Happy about that. So what do you guys think overall? We've done pretty good. Anyone else we really need to think about? I think you've already got 3 teams for each brand. It ruins the balance. Let's not forget though, Raw really struggled in the tag team department. We only had about 3 teams there to begin with, whereas Smackdown had about 5 or 6. ECW had 5 or 6 or something like that. Change Steve Lewington to Tommy Shelby. Tommy Shelby. Oh. We need new people for developmental. Do we really though? We've still got so many names here. I don't think we really need to. If there's someone, like, who should we call up? Like, who should we sign? Is there any people you'd like to see me get? These are the big names that are available now. Not many left. But in terms of good workers, let's see who's available. I know a lot of people say Sebi Sane. Let's have a look. Richie Steamboat would definitely be a good one. I'm kind of waiting till he loses the NWA title. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the storylines. A lot of these matches are kind of rematches for the belts. I don't think we really need to. We might just kind of start fresh on a lot of things, and just kind of ignore that and just move on. So a lot of these will need to end. Mysterious Show and Enter Christian. We could probably do another match between these 2 teams. I think this. Oh no, Big Show moved to ECW. Yes, we'll end that. End that. This could. Oh, Randy did change brands, didn't he? I think because it's a world title, maybe we do a rematch. I think because it's a world title, and then maybe have Orton beat Morrison finally one-on-one at the next pay-per-view. We might do that. Triple H defeated Shawn. What do you guys think about the idea of doing separate pay-per-views for the brands? Doing brand exclusive pay-per-views. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Because I'm feeling at the point now where if we did brand extended pay-per-views, that we would be able to really cover a lot more for each brand. The only problem is we'd have to do a pay-per-view like crazy amount of times because we have ECW as well. But ECW could maybe join in or have their own pay-per-view a little bit irregular compared to Raw and SmackDown. Because I'm looking at it because we've got such a stacked main event and upper mid card. You guys have noticed that, you know, Cena's not even making the cards. You know, Sheamus and Jericho, they're not really in the mix. Batista, a lot of these top names. If we have brand exclusive pay-per-views, I feel like we could do more singles matches, more feuds, more story related matches for the brands, and just cover a lot more and utilize a lot more names. Because currently we're trying to squeeze in 3 brands on a 3-4 hour show, whereas we could have each brand have their own 3-hour show and cover a lot more. What do you guys think? I think we'd have to think about when they're going to have a show each. I think if you did it every 3 weeks, there's a pay-per-view. So that would mean there's, let's say we had Raw has one at week 1 of April. The next pay-per-view would be 6 weeks away from that. So Smackdown would have a pay-per-view week 3 of April, or week 4 of April, and then the next one for Raw would be week 3 of May. Because like every 6 weeks they have a pay-per-view. That would give you more time to build each matchup and build the cards and make the pay-per-views feel more special and more meaningful. But that way we're still having pay-per-views regularly. Every 3 weeks we'd have a pay-per-view for either Raw or SmackDown. And ECW, well, ECW, not sure. ECW, you could have more of a TV special rather than a set pay-per-view. And maybe they can have like 1 or 2 here and there. Like, they have one pay-per-view between now and SummerSlam, for example. One pay-per-view between SummerSlam and Survivor Series. One between Survivor Series and the Rumble. Something like that. They have 4 of their own pay-per-views a year, maybe. Rather than, I don't know what it would be, 7 or 8 or something. So yeah, it would be a pay-per-view every 3 weeks, not 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks is still enough. You'd still have to filter in the big 4 as well, though. Yeah. Have a brand exclusive once every 3 months. Could work with each brand having a pay-per-view every 6 weeks. Each of we can have maybe 2 pay-per-views a year. Yeah, something like that, Monster. I think that might be that, because I think 6 weeks in between each brand's pay-per-view is enough. And like, if I was watching at home and I see a pay-per-view for each brand every 3 weeks, I wouldn't be that mad. It's when it's every 2 weeks, feels like we're having a pay-per-view every week. I feel like if you had a pay-per-view every 4 weeks, it stretches out that little bit too long. That's 2 more weeks that it stretches out, and you kind of have to drag things out a little bit more. Whereas 6 weeks, you can have a couple of weeks where you build to it. Each guy has a match where they kind of get a bit of momentum. They come and connect in between. They do a bit of a confrontation. Then they might do a contract signing. Something like that. A tag match. You can kind of really book it a lot easier. And that way you've got a little bit of extra time to book everything as well. I don't think it's too much. One event every 3 months for ECW. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that would work. Will I do King of the Ring? Well, King of the Ring would be interesting, right? Because if we had King of the Ring with an ECW bracket, a Raw bracket, and a SmackDown bracket, and did a triple threat at the end, that'd be pretty crazy, I think. That'd be pretty crazy. Natty, you can't stay because you have the cold. I've got a cold too, so welcome to the club. I think I have a brand exclusive pay-per-view except for the big 4 or 5 you want to do Money in the Bank in that list. Yeah, so WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble always stay non-exclusive. Every brand will be on those because they're the big 4. Money in the Bank, I think Money in the Bank is one of those as well. I think you have all the brands there, and I like to have, I like doing 2 from each brand in that match. Alright. Okay, so I think it's settled. We're going to do brand exclusive pay-per-views, which would mean that we've got the first one, which is Extreme Rules in 3 weeks' time. Well, what should be first? Raw, I suppose, first. I feel like Raw should kind of be first. Raw would be kind of... You'd have Morrison and Randy Orton perhaps as the main event there, anyways. And maybe you could do Shawn Michaels and Triple H as the main event of the SmackDown one. And then after those, you're done after that with those 2 feuds. You start fresh from then on. 8 people per roster. Final step win gets the title shot at SummerSlam Survivor Series. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I feel like you'd be doing a lot of filler on exclusive pay-per-views as well. I did in real life, which is why they're going back to dual brands. Well, filler, but also utilizing your roster more. It would mean like guys like Del Rio, you know, Daniel Bryan, these guys that are stuck down the mid-card, they get a spot on the card rather than sitting at home eating and, you know, watching at home, you know, eating catering in the back. You know, they get a spot on the roster. They get a spot on the card rather than doing nothing, because we can't fit them all in. We just can't fit them all in. We can't really push our women that strongly because there's just not enough time. We have to cut a lot of their matches because there's just no time. If we've got more time to utilize them, that means we can get them more over and we can make it work. Alright, so what should be the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania? Should it stay Extreme Rules? I always like Backlash after pay-per-view to WrestleMania. If you did brand exclusive, you wouldn't get as good ratings. That's okay though. Like, getting 100 rated for, you know, Elimination Chamber and things like that is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Like, I don't really mind. I'd rather get 100 rated on Survivor Series and Rumble than you know, Backlash or No Mercy. You know, like, I don't really like. I would like to get good ratings on them for sure. Don't get me wrong, but if I had to pick, would I rather get 100 on WrestleMania or Backlash? I'd pick WrestleMania because it's meant to be the big show. Whereas Backlash, you know, or No Mercy, whatever, is, yes, it's a strong pay-per-view, but it's not, you know, the pay-per-view. So you guys think Backlash? Alright, so Backlash. We'll make it 2.5 hours. And brand Raw. Nick, thank you so much for the bits, man. 95. Damn. Thank you, dude. I haven't seen that name before, Nick, so welcome to the stream. It's good to see you, man. What do you guys think after Backlash? What would you like to see? So that would be week 2 of May. And that would be Smackdown. So, Capital Punishment's kind of shitty, don't you think? So... Bad Blood, Bash Breaking Point, Cyber Sunday. Cyber Sunday would be kind of cool to do in this series, where you guys can help me decide the matches. You kind of did that anyway, though. Great American Bash, I didn't mind that pay-per-view. King of Ring Head would have Gabriel versus Rhodes semi-finals. You'd have to really super push Gabriel to be in a semi-final King of the Ring, man. Gotta work hard for that. Payback. I don't think I have Payback as a graphic here. Well, we can get one. Judgment Day. I always like Judgment Day. Judgment Day or No Mercy. What do you guys think? Judgment Day or No Mercy? We'll let you guys pick. We'll narrow it down between those two. Either or. I think we'll probably have No Mercy later on in the year anyways. So it's whether you want it now or later. Judgment Day was always a May pay-per-view. So... We'll go Judgment Day. Not sure if I like that logo though. Yeah, we'll do No Mercy later in the year. We might scrap bragging rights and we'll maybe do that at Survivor Series. It's hard to do bragging rights when you have 3 brands, because it's like you got to do all triple threats, and the game doesn't have a lot of those types of matches available. Like there's no 3v3v3, for example, or 5v5v5. It's hard to do that. So this would be in week 1 of June. So that would be maybe. Should ECW get one then? No, it's got to be Raw. It's got to be Raw. So this is just before Money in the Bank. So maybe ECW doesn't get one. I don't know. Maybe Money in the Bank is their pay-per-view. Not sure. Oh, we got to do a one night stand at some point, so maybe we'll fit one night stand in between there. Vengeance. I like Vengeance. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Where's Vengeance? There. So Vengeance for what? For June? Yeah. Vengeance, and that would be a Raw pay-per-view. Then we'd have Money in the Bank, and then we'd have SummerSlam. So Money in the Bank would be a co-branded pay-per-view. So Money in the Bank would have an extra. That would mean there'd be two months in between a SmackDown pay-per-view. Maybe you do Money in the Bank in June and give us a couple months in between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. What do you think? Because I feel like Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, they're going to be dual branded. That's back-to-back dual branded pay-per-views. I feel like that's not a good idea. So I might switch them around. So make that week 2 of June. That's a horrible logo. What the fuck is that? Don't have it. Money in the Bank. Where's my Money in the Bank logo? Don't really have one. Okay. I guess there was no Money in the Bank pay-per-view back then. I'll have to add one in. Remind me. I'll have to remind myself. So maybe I'll make that week 2 of June. And Vengeance would be... Well, maybe make that week 4 June. Yeah. Make this week 1. So that gives us 3 weeks between Judgment Day and Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank and Vengeance 3 weeks. And then we could probably change this to a month between Vengeance and SummerSlam to give us a full month's worth of build for SummerSlam. Are we liking that? And maybe a one night stand in there somewhere. That's where it gets messy. Adding in that third pay-per-view, that's where it gets messy. And that's where it gets like, holy crap, we're doing so many pay-per-views. But you're going to have to add one in there somewhere. So WrestleMania, so April, May, June. Maybe June is the crazy month that has 3 pay... Actually, we don't have a pay-per-view for July. So that's where we need to do another SmackDown pay-per-view, isn't it? So maybe July we do SmackDown and ECW. So we'll do a one night stand. One night stand. One night stand, ECW, July, week. Maybe we'll make it 1 week after, week 2. We'll do that. Sunday. So we got that. And then we'll do, on week 4, we'll do a SmackDown pay-per-view. And that will mean we'll still have 4 weeks between this last pay-per-view and SummerSlam. So 4 weeks is plenty of time, I think. What have you missed? You've missed the 2 hours of streaming. Hang on, that didn't load properly. Try that again. So, one more pay-per-view between SummerSlam. What do you guys think? SmackDown. The Bash could work. What are you thinking? No Way Out? Yeah, No Way Out. We could do a steel cage type of theme. Unforgiven, that's good. Breaking Point, that was the thing, yeah, it was. No Way Out or The Bash? Because I might do Unforgiven later. No, I haven't booked any shows yet, Dylan. Not yet. Sorting out... this is like our admin episode where we kind of sort out the rest of time. The rest of the year. Over the Limit? Yeah, you could do Over the Limit, yeah. No Way Out? Alright. No Way Out. Where are you? This looks good. That one looks good. No Way Out. And that's SmackDown, yeah? No Way Out to me feels like a SmackDown pay-per-view. Unforgiven feels like a Raw pay-per-view. Just because I think it was a Raw pay-per-view back when I watched. Alright. And that's that. We might sort the rest of the schedule out later on, because I'm sure it's not the most interesting thing in the world. But, so here's what we got. So in 3 weeks' time, it's Backlash. Then 3 weeks after Backlash, it's Judgment Day. All three brands combined for Money in the Bank in June. Vengeance is Raw after June. One Night Stand quickly after Vengeance. No Way Out as well. That's not the One Night Stand. That's SmackDown, then SummerSlam. I like that. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'd like to do King of the Ring, but here's the issue with King of the Ring. Where the hell do we fit it in? I feel like the only place we could probably fit King of the Ring in is for Survivor Series. The winner of the King of the Ring gets a title shot at Survivor Series. Should that happen, are we okay with that potentially taking place? We can think about that later on, but perhaps that might be something to think about. Will Elimination Chamber be chamber-based or... No Way Out be chamber or steel cage-based? Probably steel cage, because we do technically have Elimination Chamber set. Okay, I'm just going to make Wade Barrett happy. Give him a bit of a paycheck. Ted's not happy because I fired his brother. What's a shame, Ted. Steve's not happy. Well, I think Steve will be happy with $1,000, wouldn't he? Yeah, he's pretty happy with that. Alright, we're going to book a show. Belts. What about the belts? What about the belts? We're all good with the belts. The only thing we need, obviously, is to split the tag team division, but you can't split them overnight. You have to have Edge and Christian lose the belts to someone else, or be stripped of the belts. Either or. So it doesn't happen overnight. It needs to happen organically, and we'll have to work to get to that point. A strong Raw tag team, maybe they grab the belts off of them. So we'll end that storyline, and we'll just go into the next period with those. Okay, let's do it. Monday Night Raw, the new look Monday Night Raw. So let's have a look at our team. So you can see a lot more teams already. 3 babyface teams and 3 heel teams. So it's not ideal, but actually no. We have to fix this up, because we've got Steve, we've got Wade as a team. We've got Ryback, Mason Ryan as a team. If you guys could help me think of some names for these teams, that'd be awesome. We've got, who was the other one? The Usos, Jimmy and Jay as a team. They're already there. Was there anyone else? Oh, Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel. So we can think of some names for those. We can work with that later on. Now, looking at the teams now, that gives us, well, Slater and Gabriel aren't quite a. They'll be a bayface team, so it gives us 4 heel teams, 4 face teams for Raw. That's pretty good. You can't complain with that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Alright, I'm happy about that. Okay. And as for, let's go with the women, as for the rosters themselves, well, as you can see, it's pretty heel heavy. You take away Sting, you take away Lesnar, who are free agents, it might not be as bad. Not really, but... okay, so it's not terrible. Well, that's pretty bad. So they've got 4 upper mid-card and main event baby faces, and that many heels. Oh boy. Oh boy. But if you add in the mid-card, there's quite a fair few mid-carders there. So, I guess you've got to elevate a few. You got to give a couple of guys there a bit of a push-up. Okay. So, a little bit weak on the babyface side of things still. Okay. So, obviously, first show, let's have Stephanie McMahon introduce Randy Orton as her huge free agent signing. I'm going to have Orton cut a promo Morrison as well. Stephanie announces her #1 draft pick, Randy Orton, who cuts a promo on Morrison. So Orton, knowing that he's got a rematch against Morrison coming up, cuts a promo there, and we keep that feud moving along a little bit. Who does need to appear off screen? Yeah, he was. Okay. Don't forget Ziggler is turning. Crispy, that is very correct, so that will sort that issue out. 100% correct. Well, let's have a new guy debut, shall we? So let's maybe have a new team debut. So, Ryback and Mason Ryan. Now, who do they beat? Do we put them over Wang Yang and Tatsu? We could probably put them over Wang Yang. Yeah, without much of an issue. So, Jimmy Wang Yang, Yoshitatsu, and Ryback can go over. We'll have Jimmy Wang Yang lose. Okay. Slater and Gabriel debut. Well, maybe we'll give him a promo. Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel can have a promo. Who's our backstage guy? Todd Grisham or someone? And they can do a bit of a promo, hype themselves up a bit as a team. Mickie James, we'll give her a match. And we'll have one of the newer girls. We'll give her an easy win over Melissa. The actual problem with Mickie James is that she's already faced a lot of the girls already on this roster that are heels. Maybe cut some time with this actually. So we don't have any much storyline going on. Maybe Shawn Michaels cuts a promo on Triple H, a segment with that. Michaels wants his rematch despite changing brands. So Triple H is gone, but Shawn Michaels still wants his rematch. So what I would pretend that happened is not the... So let's say the WWE, for example, would broadcast a draft episode on the network. So all the drafts happen on the network the night before, or, because it was WrestleMania, maybe not. Maybe, at some point, maybe the hour before the show or something. They do a special presentation of the draft, all the big names changing, and then I would do a Raw and SmackDown to follow. I wouldn't have the draft taking place on Raw and SmackDown. I would do a straight up special on its own. Update storylines. I haven't. Well, we need to start setting it for you. So, Ziggler's the champion. Who can face Ziggler to start off with? Matt Hardy? Maybe we'll save that for later. Might have to be Matt Hardy. Maybe Matt Hardy and then Ziggler wins somehow, and then... because otherwise we won't be able to do the match. So, Backlash. I'll make it Raw. Hardy versus Ziggler. That would give us a title match there. The women, we've got Natalya as the champion. She's a face. Maybe we'll do Natalya and Michelle McCool. We'll have Laycool be there, so Layla can get herself involved. So let's do a bit of tag team feud. So maybe Gold Justice and the Machine Guns. I think we could be a decent little feud there. And obviously now that we've got some more time on pay-per-views, we can utilize that a little bit better. And Shelley and Sabin are really good too. Like they deserve. If we're gonna have a Raw, oh, it's the wrong guy, Alex Riley. My bad. I was a bit lazy. If we're gonna have a tag team title for Raw, I think Machine Guns are probably the most deserving team. Let's Kurt Angle's contract up, not for another year or two. I'll just make that non-brand related. Same with this one. That one. Alright, and then I might update the storylines for you guys on the screen. But we've only got 3 there. So we'd probably have, I'm thinking Triple H and Shawn on Judgment Day and Randy Orton and Morrison on Backlash. I think that because the world title's now on Raw, so that would make more sense. The WWE titles on SmackDown, that would make probably more sense. Yeah, and then what about a singles match? Like maybe start something here with Batista or someone. A lot of new guys. Kane, Mark Henry, Randy's busy, Cena. Maybe Cena and Mark Henry could start something. Maybe that could be a #1 contenders match. So Cena and Mark Henry. We'll make that #1 contenders, and that'd be a decent little feud there. And then we'll hold off on Batista for a little bit. Same with Kane. Maybe they could even feud. We'll see, but we'll just figure out what we're kind of going to do. Maple storylines. I'm doing it right now. So that gives us a strong match. Hardy and Ziggler will be strong. Tag match will be strong. Women's match will be pretty decent. Probably a couple more matches as well. Let's keep booking this. So maybe Chris Masters can have a matchup, and see how he goes against Brian Kendrick. Yeah, well, I'll change it then, dude. My bad. Let's do Mark Henry. Henry is now a part of Raw. Demands respect and a title shot from Steph. So Mark Henry, he says, look, I'm now part of Raw. I was an ECW champion. I deserve respect. I deserve to get an opportunity. Give me a shot. Stephanie says, okay, you know, let's see what you got. So we have Mark Henry. And maybe another newcomer. Mark Henry and Kane, would that rate well? Probably not. Mark Henry... fuck it. Mark Henry and Kane, two newcomers, and we'll see who's the better newcomer out of the two. We'll whack John Cena on commentary because he's trying to scout out the new talent here. And then maybe a post-match stare-down between Cena and Henry. They just kind of, you know, getting each other's face a little bit. Cena kind of letting him know that this is still, the Raw is still his show. You know, kind of get his face a bit. So, and then obviously we'll introduce Rey Mysterio. We might have to do something with Rey Mysterio, feuding with someone, but that should be okay. Yeah, so it's not obviously the strongest Raw, but it does introduce a lot of new characters, and we start building towards what's next. We've got some good promos anyways. Okay. 100 for the opener. Ryback and Mason Ryan versus Wang Yang Yoshi, 57. Mason Ryan, 53. Ryback, 50. So Ryan's better than Ryback. Tatsu, 54. Jimmy Wang Yang, 52. So pretty evenly matched, both teams. 57 overall. It's not that bad. Ryback and Mason Ryan, that's pretty good. That's not a bad start. Heath Slater, Justin Gable, Todd Grisham, 67 for the promo. I'm worried if we did a turn right now that it would go pretty badly, so I might give him a few more segments before we do the turn just yet. Mickie James and Melissa, 79. Mickie, 78. Melissa, 52. And still pulled off a great match. So Mickie James definitely carrying. 100 for Shawn Michaels and his promo on Triple H. Chris Masters and Kendrick, 83. What the hell's going on? We're going... Every match is just on fire tonight. Wow. Chris Masters, really good. 78. 78 by Chris Masters. Think about that for a moment. Wow. Wowee. Mark Henry promo, really good. 98. And Henry and Kane, 78. Not as good as we, I didn't think it was going to be that awesome. But it got the job done. And an 86 for the stare down at the end. For an 87 overall show. Not bad. Obviously, we have to try and establish some new storylines. Obviously, we have to try and just basically get our brands adjusted to the change. Try and, just get myself prepared. Figure out who we're going to push. Figure out who we're not. Kind of figure out what our storyline is going to be. So it's going to take us a while to really start hitting our straps with these new rosters. But that's okay. So Andy Levine's risen to light heavyweight. Tiger Mask has got a available contract. Good worker, but too old for me. Ric Flair's gone, I forgot to use Flair. That's alright. We can get Flair back at any time. Anytime. Kendrick is too small in my opinion. He has no upside. Randy Orton. I can see Orton saying that. Matt Morgan suffered body nerve damage. Oh my... Oh no! Oh no! No, please tell me he's not champion. He's not. So Matt Morgan lost the belt. Or did he? Did he have to vacate it? What happened? Matt Morgan's done. He's out for a year. Wow. Wow. And he was the guy that TNA was pushing to be their next major star. Oh, I feel bad for TNA. Oh, man, that's rough. I feel bad for Matt Morgan because he was getting that push. So what happened on Impact? Morgan, he even beat Styles in a 95 rated match. They had him go over AJ in a great match. And he's gone. Wow. TEW's a rough game. Jesus. Thank God that isn't me. We've been really lucky actually with injuries. We haven't really had many to worry about. Like, we've got no one out at the moment. We've been really fortunate. Because I've had saves where just one of your top guys goes down for a year. And it's like, fuck, it's tough. So who's the champion in TNA right now? Is it vacated because of his injury? It'd have to be, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's vacant. So they vacated the title. Wow, I bet they're regretting having Styles lose it now. Yeah, Morgan did, hold it for a few months, and he was doing really well with it, but jeez, that's rough, man. Look at their title holders, though. Like, I don't know how accurate this is, but Angle, Sting, Angle, Joe, Sting, Foley, Angle. Like, just a lot of, a couple of their own guys mixed in with Joe. But it's just, like, none of their own homegrown talent winning the belt, It's good that they're starting to use Styles and Morgan in those spots, but Morgan's done. Who gets the push now? Umaga? Maybe. Umaga? Elijah Burke, they've been pretty high on him. He's the X Division champion. I don't know, but TNA has got themselves in a bit of an injury. And watch yourself getting a lot of injuries now, you said that. 100% Chris Jericho's getting injured this show. 100%. Your first week of playing, your Joe go down for a year and 6 months. That's when you just restart. 100% restart there. Alright, ECW now. So we still have Kingston and Kennedy going on. We still got that as a thing. We'll keep that moving. I think you kind of have to do Jericho and Big Show again just to reunite that feud, because they had a loser leaves the brand match. Now they're both on the same brand. I think you kind of have to do that again. So Jericho versus Big Show. Even if it's not, it doesn't have to be 6 months, but it could just be, maybe a month or two feud, and they just kind of go after each other for the next little bit. It makes sense because there's got to be some dissension there. So our tag division, we've got 3 heel teams, okay, and 4 face teams. So our tag division took a little bit of a hit for ECW. So it's pretty weak on the heel side, obviously. Okay, not great. And the rosters themselves, that's pretty balanced. That's pretty balanced. You take away, Kevin Nash and Lesnar, that's still pretty balanced. Pretty happy with that. So we've done pretty well there. Top 5 faces and heels in each brand. I don't know. If I ran through the list, I could probably tell you. I'm just thinking here that we might do Bobby Roode in a feud. Homicide, obviously beating Mick Foley, getting a big big rub there. Someone's got to take this belt from Homicide, and it might be Bobby Roode. But maybe we save that, and maybe we go Drew Mack and Homicide for a little bit. Or maybe RVD and Homicide. Yeah, we've done it once or twice. RVD is more of the hardcore legend, you know, more of that status. So maybe RVD goes after Homicide. And then Homicide can maybe beat him, and then maybe have someone else go over Homicide later on. Let's give... So Drew Mack can feud. Maybe Drew McIntyre and Carlito or Richards. We might go Carlito. It's a nice little singles feud. So that could be a nice little introduction feud for Drew McIntyre on ECW. We need a tag team title feud as well for World's Greatest Tag Team, the champions. Yeah. So maybe Crime Time. We'll go Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. We might save Crime Time because Crime Time might take the belts from them down the line. So Charlie Haas, Shelton, Zack, Kurt. So and then we might have obviously Crime Time. Maybe take the belts from them later on because they've got a bit more pop. And I don't know. I just feel like they could carry the division a little bit better. Rude and Homicide have bad chem. Is that true? Could be true. So that gives us 5 feuds for ECW, which is pretty strong. That's probably enough for now. Kingston and Kennedy can keep on going. Jericho and Big Show. Who's our top guys that miss out at the moment? Sheamus is not doing anything. MVP's not doing anything. So I guess you could just have the 2 feud. There's really no one else for Sheamus to kind of feud with. Maybe they could be floaters and kind of mix in with the other feuds for a little bit. Imagine if Matt Sydal or Regal wins the world title. I'd be pissed off. I didn't really care too much about Will and Regal because he's a bit older, but definitely Matt Sydal. I was a little bit annoyed that he left. But yeah. Seth Rollins, what's he doing? That's a good point. So we've got Seth. This is kind of the issue we got with this roster. We've got Bobby Roode and Seth. The 2 guys we definitely want to push. Don't quite have an opponent at the moment. Seth and Homicide would have been good. Maybe we have a few guys mingle in for the hardcore title. So not just one guy. Oh, he had RVD. Yeah, I like RVD. Maybe. I think we definitely need maybe Bobby Roode to turn heel. I feel like we need one of those guys to maybe turn. Because Roode and Seth and Drew, they're 3 strong up mid-card bait faces. We've got Homicide and Shelton. That's really about it on the heel side of things. The other heels are more main eventers. Someone needs to turn heel. Bobby Roode, his last turn was a little bit too recent. It could work. Drew McIntyre, he just turned his face, so that wouldn't work. Seth, I feel like Seth is one of those guys that will stay babyface for a lot of the series. Just a strong, likable, underdog-ish babyface character that all the fans like. So I feel like it has to be Bobby Roode. We'll have to try and force a turn. And I feel like he's a far better heel, even though apparently he doesn't say so. That's very wrong. But he might have to start playing the seats for a turn. Rude and Rollins team for a bit, then Rude turns on Rollins. That could work. Just a simple little team there. Not like a proper team, but just kind of like a bit of an alliance. They team up again to take on a few different guys. Yeah, okay. So maybe we do that instead of... Sorry, Zach, but maybe we do this. So they... Rude, Rollins versus... So a bit of a makeshift team. And we can make this work for a little bit. So maybe, you know, Mick Foley's going to be the new GM, right? So maybe Mick Foley says, okay, I think you two guys would be great as tag team partners, and like tries it out. A bit like how he did with Cesaro and Sheamus type of thing. So we're going to whack Mick Foley on commentary. So he's now going to be introduced as the new... He's basically replacing Paul Heyman. And we're going to have Lesnar and Heyman together. Heyman can be like the commissioner of ECW, and Foley as the GM. And we'll get rid of Mankind and change him back to Mick Foley. Alright, so we'll do that. So we'll start off with that. Paul Heyman, Mick Foley. Heyman announces Foley as the new GM and commentator for ECW. So... And maybe we'll have Mr. Kennedy come out there as well. Kennedy gets in the face of the new GM. So Kennedy comes out and says, you know, I'm the champion around here. I call the shots. You know, you got to tell me everything that's happening. Like you report to me, type of thing. Like I'm the man. And Kennedy kind of gets in his face a little bit. Get rid of the mask. Good point. Alright, so let's try out one newcomer to ECW, I suppose. Let's give Sheamus a match. He can take on... who did we call up? Just the Usos here? We put Wade Barrett, didn't we, on Smackdown, yeah. We'll give him a strong opponent of Davey Richards. He's not US champion. I need to update the photos, I know. So I have Kofi kind of prime on Mr. Kennedy, basically saying, look, I'm disappointed about me losing the title recently, you know, etc, etc. Tag match. So the Usos can make their debut. Do we have a low-end team for them to beat? Not really, but we could do a heel versus heel team. Just a match just to basically get the Usos their first big win. They need to have a win to start. Alright, Mick Foley, Seth, Bobby Roode. Foley says, leaves Rollins, Roode would be perfect together, wants them to be a team. So, Mick Foley brings Rollins and Roode into his office and says, look, I believe you guys would be great together. I know Rollins, you're brand new. I just feel as though you guys would be a perfect team. Let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. And they agree. Maybe they could work the main event. Maybe not. So Seth and Bobby. That means they don't have a great team to face, do they? maybe they beat Shelton and Charlie. They beat the tag team champions in a non-title match. I'll give Seth the win since his first night in ECW. Pins Charlie Haas. So they beat the champs in a non-title match. Starts the feud there, and they can say, okay, maybe this could work as a team. I'll do a hype video for Chris Jericho. And main event. Main event. I was thinking maybe Big Show has a main event match against someone, but are they winning the titles? I don't know if I'll give them the titles, but certainly give them a few matches against the champs, and then maybe things implode after a month or two. All the segments are still saying Heyman's on commentary. Yeah, no, I'm just going to let him be like, this is his last night type of thing on commentary. You know, one more night, and then as of next week, he can be the announcer. Maybe Big Show versus Homicide, maybe. Big Show and Homicide. He's got an injury. Maybe not. I don't want to risk a chance of aggravating that. I didn't really want to give Big Show an MVP away. That was my only concern. Big Kevin Nash comes in for a match, maybe. Yeah, could do it. Maybe Kennedy has a match. Maybe as Mick Foley, as Kennedy's punishment. Big Show and Kennedy happens, and Big Show can lose the match because of Chris Jericho. So we did the hype video for Jericho. Put Kofi in commentary, just advance that. And we'll do that match. Kennedy wins thanks to distraction, and that sets up Jericho and Big Show a little bit more. Maybe cut a few minutes off that. And one off that. Okay, so that's that. I think that's fine. So Jericho obviously hasn't forgotten about what happened in between himself and Big Show. Gets himself involved there. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's book some ECW. Let's do this. So 100 rate for the opening segment with Mick Foley now as the new GM. Mr. Kennedy is, obviously the new champion. He gets in the face, so Foley kind of says that he's now the man. This is his show type of thing. Sheamus and Davey Richards, 76. Sheamus, 89. Richards, 69. So not as good for Sheamus, but not a bad match by all means. Kofi Kingston, 88 for his promo on Kennedy. The Usos and the Dubusters, 58. So Jimmy and Jay, not bad. Jimmy's got 59. Jay, 47. So, not sure what's the deal there. Why is Jimmy so much better? Jimmy debuted without a specific gimmick. Did we not give him a gimmick? Huh. Okay. Did it hurt him? Yeah, it did. Not having a gimmick. Okay. Still did 59 though, so he's still very good. Mick Foley, Seth, and Bobby Roode, 98. So that's a good segment. So we started the Bobby Roode potential turn. And 81 for the match. So Bobby Roode, 79. Seth Rollins, 80. Charlie Haas, 79. Shelton Benjamin, 96. And that segment started it, so they get a surprise little victory there. Hype video for Jericho in the main event. 88, nice. Big Show 80, Mr. Kennedy 91. Big Show a little bit tired towards the end. It was only 19 minutes. I'm surprised he got... I thought I said it for 18. Maybe I did 1 minute too many. But lack of psychology anyways hurt it. But 88 anyways is strong. And Jericho getting himself involved. And Kennedy and Kingston continue on with that as well. And that's a strong ECW show. That's better than Raw, I think. Wow. So, it's looking good for ECW. Looking good anyways. That's a nice start. Nice little start. Giant Bernard staying with New Japan. The Rock has been offered a major part in a movie here and will leave to begin filming in 3 months. So The Rock is gone. He'll be probably gone for a year. Makes our WrestleMania thoughts interesting, doesn't it? And Seth Rollins doesn't think Uso could next to the fans. Are you turning in heel in 2011 and 2018? I must be, yeah. Alright. So, keep moving along. Richie Steamboat still kept the title, even though we offered him a contract. That's ballsy. The Rock Fast and Furious films, maybe? Yeah, could be. Could be going to do those. Extreme Bedhead. Big Cass has got some issues. Extreme Bedhead. How long does that keep you out of action for? Doesn't keep you out for too long. You can work through it. Thank God. Thank God you can work through a bad hair day. Some women can't. Eve Torres, we keep her for a couple more years. JOC needs to give me... I thought I changed that to a family thing. I don't know. As a cocky... Yeah, I swear I changed it to like a cocky character. Cocky youth or something. Apparently I did not. Generation Next. Yeah, cocky youth can be that. Make the Miz a movie star. Don't know about that yet. NXT. No, that's Japan. NXT. Bray Wyatt beat Johnny Curtis. Bludgeon Brothers beat Cass and Percy. But to see how NXT goes now that we took a lot of their top tier names. And who also gets the push now instead. That'll be also interesting. Sandow getting a match. You don't see that off too often. So he's getting a bit more of an opportunity. So a few new names in NXT should get some more matches. Which is always good. More opportunities for more people. Aleister Black has once again been up to his tricks in NXT, using his wits to maneuver himself into some politically strong positions and connections. As usual, this has not gone down with some of his colleagues. So Aleister Black been up to no good. Well, it's not helping him too much because he hasn't won a single match all year. So he's playing politics, but he's not very good at them. Ric Flair wins an award as the best color commentator. There you go. Ric Flair apparently is the best. I feel like Mick Foley could really give him a run for his money. He's got higher color commentator ability than Ric Flair. So that should be saved. Oh, actually no. I did change it to the wrong thing. So it's... next week should all be sweet. So Mick Foley will be there next week. Which is okay. I kind of am happy that Heyman had one more night as that anyways. Should I do one more show for SmackDown? Nah, I think I'm about done, guys. I'll leave it at that. But I probably will stream this again during the week. I'm not sure, but I did obviously want to do two streams this weekend, but I didn't get that done because I got sick. But I'll try and do a stream during the week to make up for it. Thank you so much to everyone who donated the bits again today. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who came along the stream again today. You guys are awesome. It was a tough one because the draft was just really difficult to kind of work with. But I feel like we did a pretty good job. I'm pretty satisfied with the rosters. Maybe we might need to make a tweak or two, but I feel like we did pretty well. So thank you for watching, guys. If you missed yesterday's WWE 2018 stream, I'm going to upload the video for that. It's sometime. I'm probably meant to upload that already. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.